The video opens with a somber, reflective tone, perhaps showing scenes of a man looking out a window or at old photos. He was the kind of man who believed in forever. His name was Liam, and for him, forever had a name, Chloe. They had built a life together, brick by brick, laugh by laugh. Their home wasn't just a house, it was a museum of their shared memories. Every corner held a story, every object a whisper of their past. Liam worked from home, a quiet architect who found solace in the lines and angles of his designs, much like he found comfort in the predictable rhythm of his life with Chloe. Chloe was different. She was a whirlwind of energy, a social butterfly with a career that often took her away from their quiet nest. Liam never questioned it. He trusted her completely. When she said she was on a business trip, he'd pack her favorite snacks. When she said she was working late, he'd have dinner waiting, keeping it warm until she walked through the door, her smile the only reward he ever needed. He was her anchor, her steady ground, and he was happy in that role. The change was subtle at first, almost unnoticeable. A text message that went unanswered for a little too long. A phone call that ended abruptly when he walked into the room. Chloe started talking about a new colleague, Mark. He was brilliant, hilarious, so supportive. Liam listened, genuinely happy that she had a good team at work. He was proud of her success, of the way her eyes lit up when she talked about her achievements. He never once thought that the light in her eyes was being sparked by someone else. The business trips became more frequent, longer. This time she was gone for 2 weeks, a conference in a city miles away. Liam's days stretched into a lonely expanse. He'd water her plants, feed her cat, and count the minutes until she was back. He sent her photos of their life at home, a funny picture of the cat tangled in yarn, the sunset from their bedroom window. Her replies were short, often just a single emoji. Busy, she'd say. Exhausted. Liam understood, or at least he tried to. He decided to surprise her. It was their anniversary, and the thought of her being alone in a hotel room felt wrong. He booked a flight to the city where her conference was supposedly being held. He pictured the look on her face, the surprise turning into a delighted smile. He bought a beautiful necklace, the one she'd been admiring for months, and imagined fastening it around her neck. The entire flight he was buzzing with anticipation, a secret joy bubbling inside him. He landed, took a cab straight to the hotel she'd told him she was staying at. The receptionist, however, had no record of a Chloe under that name, nor was there any conference like the one she described. A cold knot of dread began to form in Liam's stomach. He called her phone. It went straight to voicemail. He tried again. Voicemail. Panic began to set in. What if something had happened? He started calling other hotels, his voice growing more frantic with each denial. Then he remembered something. Chloe had an app on her phone to find her lost keys, and they had linked their accounts. A desperate, last-ditch idea. He opened the app on his phone. A small blue dot appeared on the map, not in this city, but in a quiet coastal town a few hours away. A town known for its romantic getaways and quaint bed and breakfasts. The dread in his stomach turned to ice. He rented a car and drove, the miles blurring past his unseeing eyes. The GPS led him to a charming little inn, draped in ivy, with a sign that read, "The Seafoam Retreat." It looked like a postcard, a perfect picture of romance. His heart hammered against his ribs as he walked towards the entrance. Through the large window of the inn's cozy dining room, he saw her. There was Chloe. She was laughing, her head tilted back in a way he knew so well. But the man sitting across from her, holding her hand across the table, was not him. It was Mark. He watched as Mark leaned in and kissed her, a long, lingering kiss that spoke of intimacy and a shared secret. Chloe melted into it, her eyes closing in a way he had once believed was reserved only for him. The world tilted on its axis. The air was punched out of Liam's lungs. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Every shared memory, every promise, every "I love you" turned to ash in his mind. He was a fool. He had been waiting for her, building a life for her, holding a space for her in his heart, while she was busy building a new life with someone else. He didn't confront them. What was there to say? The picture in the window said it all. He turned around, got back in his car, and drove away. The necklace in his pocket felt like a lead weight. The journey back was a silent scream. Each mile took him further from the woman he thought he knew, and closer to a devastating, unknown future. When he got home, the house felt different. It was no longer a museum of love. It was a mausoleum of lies. The photos on the wall seemed to mock him. Her scent on the pillows was a cruel reminder. He waited, not for her to come back, but for the courage to face what came next. A few days later, Chloe returned, tanned and glowing. She walked in, full of stories about the tiring but successful conference. She handed him a cheap souvenir, a keychain from the city she was never in. Liam looked at her, really looked at her, and saw a stranger. He didn't shout, he didn't cry. He simply placed the keychain on the counter next to the small velvet box containing the anniversary necklace. Her smile faltered. "What's this?" she asked, her voice suddenly uncertain. "I went to surprise you," Liam said, his voice eerily calm. But it seems I was the one who was surprised. He watched as the color drained from her face, as the truth of his words crashed down upon her. The whirlwind had finally settled, and in the quiet aftermath, all that was left was the wreckage of what they once had. He had waited for her, but she had never planned on returning to him at all. This story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same. It's about finding the strength to walk away from a love that is no longer real, and to start rebuilding, not a house for two, but a home for one. A home built on the solid ground of self-respect and the promise of a new beginning. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.